I'm the Commissar, we're watching Forged Alliance Forever, and you're in for a game where getting a foothold on the other team's landmass is going to be very important indeed. But lots of ways to do that, and someone might be going swimming. To the west of the channel, we have Cold Team, and to the east of the channel, we have Hot Team. Let's meet Cold Team first. Down here, in the south, we have Motulal. He says, "Darn no mass." We're shortly going to see that he's lying. He's 1211 rated and Seraphim. He's in baby blue. To his north, we have Papakababa, whom we're going to call Papa. He's 1075 rated and Eon. He's in dark blue. And to his north, at the top, we have Kemikal, also Eon. He's 1169 rated, in mauve. And Hot Team. In their south, we have BadCompany, who is Cybran, 1096 rated and orange, and he's opened first air there. That's quite interesting. He's going for a couple of P-gens, as you do in such a build, and straight for the Hydro. Up here, already heading towards the water with his comm, we have Yellow Colorado 31. He's exactly 1000 rated, he's also Cybran, and he's in Burgundy. And last but by no means least, in fact the highest rated player in the game, up here in red we have Sovereign 31, 1293 rated and Eon. And the map. Now, Motulal was saying there's no mass. He is lying. Look at this. There is thousands and thousands and thousands of mass. And it's all in the form of these big, bright blue rocks scattered across the black terrain. Very unusual colour scheme, but that's what we've got. I quite like this tile set, actually. First into the water by a long shot is Colorado. He's immediately setting up a naval yard. Everybody else has them queued. Oh, Kemikal hasn't queued his yet, and neither has Oh, look at this. Motulal is in the water, yes, with his comm, but not for Navy. Motulal is just mad-ladding straight across the map, heading for Company's shore. Now, because he's doing this so immediately, and it's a long walk, that's a 15k map, I'd say, it means he's not going to have any upgrades when he gets there, so he'll be coming out here. How long is it going to take him? About 2 minutes. He'll be coming out here at the 5-minute mark. No upgrades, all on his own. Could be dangerous. Is there going to be Zui support? Maybe. But you know what will help him? Look at this. Company is not going for any land at all. Not a single land factory, just 3 air factories. Now, you can understand why, if he's going to think he can do everything with just Navy and air, and he's Cybran, he doesn't have great amphi units until bricks. But if there's an enemy comm suddenly up in your base, I mean, gestures maybe at T1, but could be powerful. We'll see. Now, all other players are now getting into the water. Couple of factories from Papa, Colorado, Sovereign, Kemikal, all in the water. Kemikal the last into the water. In terms of Navy, has Motulal... Yes, he is actually going for Navy of his own. But Company is one of the few players who hasn't brought his comm to build the naval factory, and that means that we could be seeing some good cheeky reclaim or gunnery denying the naval factory if Motulal can see this and get there on time. And he's scouting it. He knows exactly what's going on. You see this scout going over. Papa, meanwhile, he is streaming Aurora across the water, and we can see them trickling across there. Nice use of T1 hover spam, because these mexes are quite far away from anyone's base, and as we know, Company hasn't got any land at all, so if they can start getting work done, that could be good. But Company has gone for a bomber, and Aurora are the only T1 tanks which die in one hit to a T1 bomber, so that could be the defense that he needs. But I reckon that Company's attention is about to be taken up as Motulal comes out of the water. There is a sub here, but the sub will only worry Motulal while he's in the water, and he brings an Inti to cover, and that Inti is immediately taking on these bombers, and Company hasn't actually gone for any Intis at all. The bomber attacks Motulal's comm, but that Inti's just going to deal with it, and Motulal is going to focus the naval yard. Nice choice. And these Auroras, they're just getting work done against these mexes. That's going to be 3 mexes denied, possibly more. And the end is going to take a long time for Company to get out back here. Because, oh, but we have Colorado responding with a gesture, that'll deal with it. And we also really have to pay attention to this. Because Motulal, he does not like that naval factory, and he is just going to shoot it. Reclaiming might actually be more effective at this stage, but either way, is he going to deny it before that submarine pops out? Oh, 98%. Yes, he is. And we have got a Jester out from Company. We've got T1 point defense. But now that the factory's down, Motulal can just walk into the water. He's not deep enough, though. And Company can still see him. And he is just standing there looking down upon him, firing upon him. And Motulal decides he's not going to get that up. But he's also brought his own frigates in, which might be able to deny this naval factory for Company. So this has been amazing for Motulal so far. Colorado's Jesters have taken out the Auroras, but now they're massing here. I don't know whether Colorado knows about them. He does, he could attack them, but he hasn't yet. He's also massing a navy at this little choke point. And now we're getting the reclaim going down on the factory. There is one sub here, and Motulal has lost his sub. So he's going to have to be a little careful, but Reclaim might do the job. Another sub might do the job if he builds one, which he hasn't yet. This, however, is a decent swarm coming in from Kemikal. He's also gone for Aurora spam, like Papa. And we've got a couple of frigates here, and frigates are great against Auroras, but this is a lot of Auroras, and Kemikal with sensors, so he can see quite a lot, is bringing his comm in to support the Auroras. Motulal down below half health now, thanks to this sub, and he's running away. I think he's trying to get, yeah, he's coming up onto the land here. He will then be vulnerable to the Jesters, but the sub hasn't followed him, so I don't know if Company will know where he is. Papa now backing away, but Papa has now brought these anti-air shard boats in to cover against the Jesters, and he's brought these frigates in as well, and that will mean that he's got some decent cover and can start massing up his Auroras again. In the north, Kemikal is going in. In the south, Company is actually on the torpedo upgrade here, but he's got to be careful because these Zuis can just shoot him while he's upgrading. Motulal just reclaiming some of Company's stuff here. And we do have T2 Navy completed for Sovereign, but will it survive all these Auroras? Because you can see the frigates are tearing apart the Auroras. Good choice, he's just building frigates from the T2 factory, and they will counter the Auroras. Kemikal going for a T2 torpedo launcher here. Company's taken a lot of hits from those Zuis, and he's trying to get into the water. There are subs here, but now that he has the torpedo upgrade, those two subs should not be a problem. And he's also got T2 air out, and he's got Corsairs. Motulal, however, is going to advance. Over here, Kemikal's got his torpedo launcher up, and he looks like he's got enough to take out Sovereign's frigates, but Colorado brings in his own frigates. That's going to be good for Hot Team, but the torpedo launcher can deal with those quite well, and good micro from Kemikal. He's bringing in more of these tanks, and he's also got his own sub. Colorado's losing vessels, but he's bringing in more. Over here, look at this. The Zuis have just come up onto land, and they are absolutely trashing Colorado's defences. Motulal moves in with his comm to take advantage. The Zuis fall back to the water, though. As Colorado comes out, he'll be able to shoot them. And this is now a lot of units, including a sub-hunter, and Kemikal is going to have to fall back. Very quick check here in mid. Look at the havoc that Papa's tanks are managing to wreak on the eco here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mechs. Gonna be a lot of mexes that these tanks kill, while Colorado's off helping Sovereign. But that help is now invaluable to Sovereign, because look at the pressure on Kemikal's comm. Over here, BadCompany jinking around trying to dodge the Zuis. Where's Motulal even got? Oh, Motulal is heading his comm off down this way. We'll check on it in a moment, but Kemikal is under pressure. As is Kemikal. Boom! Kemikal is our first ejection at 10 minutes, as he is swarmed down by the subs, but Company is also in trouble with 400 hit points remaining. However, this sub is coming for him. Will it get him? He takes hits. There's another sub. 300 hit points. But he vets up on the sub. That's amazing. I think he's going to survive, as I don't see any more subs coming from Motulal. Colorado has now brought in a Jester again to deal with these, but look at the eco damage. This is amazing. And we've got Inties coming in from Papa, which will easily deal with this couple of Jesters. He will be able to continue this pressure, and he's got this factory here that is going to be able to add to the spam, provide anti-air support. He's also colonizing. Down here, Motulal is bringing his comm to take out this expansion. He's got to be careful, because there are these T2 gunships from Company. But Motulal's got a decent amount of... Oh, but Motulal's brought in destroyers. And sure, there's the Torp upgrade, but BadCompany's taken a lot of damage. And this is 2 destroyers. Company might actually be in trouble. Motulal has now completely erased this expansion. Company's gunships are dead. And I think Company is going down. There's no way he's working through 2 destroyers. Boom! Company is down and out, and we have lost 1 player on each team. And look at the eco damage that has now been done to Hot Team. The lead, that's 100 eco lead. That's immense. 100 eco lead for Cold Team, which is what, 40%? That's a lot. But there is T2 Navy now from Sovereign, and Papa's inherited this base. Will he be able to defend it? These mexes are vulnerable, but these mexes have already been taken out by the Zuis, so lots to look at, and this destroyer creeps on up. Papa has been massing a pretty large navy here. Colorado's got a destro. I think Papa should push, and I think he'd be able to win this. Is this one of those maps where I'm pretty sure you can get through here? But this naval fight is going down a little bit. No, Papa's falling back. Papa should take it, I think. And Motulal is bringing the Zuis up to help. And where's the spam from Papa's Papa's spam is now coming south, and there is now 1 single land factory here. It's only building NGs, but there isn't actually that much spam here. Colorado sent a bit to help out. I think Papa will have to send more if he's going to be able to swarm this emplacement. But Sovereign is going to take this air fight here. Sovereign's going to take the air fight with BadCompany. BadCompany? Why did I say... With Papa, what am I talking about? I'm just picking any name, aren't I? And that's a lot of transports there. I don't know if that's intentional. And he's actually just reached T3 air in that base, so he's going to be really keen to hold off against this spam. This T2 air factory could well go down. in the middle, some Zuis have crept through. I'm actually now less sure that boats can fit through here. I've seen that happen a couple of times on maps where we've had a naval choke and the boats just can't fit through. If they can't, that would be very interesting. But Sovereign's brought his T2 Navy down, and that should be enough to clear this up, because Sovereign's just got more and they're getting clearer lines of sight. This T2 air factory has gone down, but the T3 air factory is definitely going to survive. There's point defences, there's no arty in here. And Colorado has come down in person to take out these spam factories, which Papa hasn't yet reacted to. If he could find a way to just start anti-Colorado's bring spam of his own, this is going to be down and out. Yeah, no questions about that. That said, there's still a decent force down here, and it is still doing damage, but unless they find a way... Oh, there is an artillery piece in here. And that's a way to take out the Air HQ. There is a Seraphim cruiser firing tactical missiles, and there isn't yet a tactical missile defense, but there's enough assistance that just one cruiser won't do the damage. Hitting this, however, that would be amazing if he can blow up this P-Gen. He's just going for some of the support factories at the moment, though. Please, Motulal, take out this P-Gen. He's focusing on the HQ, but I don't know if it's going to go down. Meanwhile, Motulal has been down here. He's been setting up this little expansion, but he hasn't put any production there. And he's bringing his comm in with T2, but otherwise unupgraded gun-wise, in person. Focus this P-Gen. Meanwhile, Papa is actually trying to get this Aurora swarm from Kemikal's old base around the top. Kemikal knows about it. He's got these frigates and navy coming in. Has he seen how much he's getting? Sovereign rather knows about it, and he does know it's coming. So, meanwhile, though, Motulal, he's walking into the base, but there's T2 point defense. He's going to have to fall back before he gets any damage done. He's firing overcharges, but this is going to be too much, and the tactical missile defense will do the rest against just one cruiser. Motulal, you need to fall back. And he does. Will it be in time? That's a lot of T1 spam swarming him. 5,000, 4,000, 3,000, 2,000. This is going to be super, super close. He's very close to a vet, though. 600, 500, 400, but he gets the vet, a crucial rank of veterancy. And he's going to make it out. But that might stop him. There's a whaler under production here for Sovereign, and that whaler would easily shred him. Meanwhile, his expansion's been taken out by the T1 land spam from Colorado. However, Core Team is still way ahead in eco. T1 spam probably not enough to stop Motulal at this stage, despite being in the red, but this whaler could well do the job. And there's just not enough air response from Motulal. Sovereign's covering it with his inties. And Motulal is shedding hit points. He could try to throw up some anti-air, but I don't think it's going to be fast enough. Boom! Motulal goes out, leaving Papa all on his own against Hot Team. Up here in the north, this is a big T2 Navy now from both Colorado and Sovereign, but it hasn't really got much damage done yet. However, Papa doesn't really have anything here that counters T2 Navy. No air, certainly no torp bombers, and T2 RT might do the job, but he hasn't got any, and he hasn't got time to shield or build. But what does that actually range? Doesn't have the range to do the real damage here. They'll need something more to handle that. And Papa is... Ooh, this is big. This is a big torpedo bomber snipe. So Papa does have the torpedo bombers, but they're going straight for Colorado's naval HQ. Sovereign sends his inties and the HQ is being heavily repaired. But in come the torpedo bombers. And is it going to do the damage? It is. Colorado loses the ability to build a T2 Navy. But up here, Sovereign has the ability to build a T3 Navy, and he's getting torrents out. That will deal with the range problem. That will utterly smash this. Are we going to see any tactical missile defense? Because they're definitely going to need some. Does Papa know? He doesn't know that's T3 Navy as yet. Down here, he's dropping Harbies. That could be fun. And Hot Team don't know. There are just Harbies dropping here, and Hot Team don't know. This could be really powerful if he can bring in some anti-air support as well. Meanwhile, his Navy's repositioned to mid. I'm pretty sure now that for some reason this is shallow enough. It doesn't look it, but I think it might be shallow enough that Navy can't get through mid. Have we seen a single naval unit get through the middle there? But look at the damage the torrents are doing. Suddenly, all of this is going to be denied, and this cheeky gunship force is going to be able to add to it. Papa does have... Actually, I was going to say he has T3 air, but those are only Swifties. Does he have T3 air? No, he's only got T2 air until now. Okay, he has T3 air. He already has T3 power up. The Swifties will deal with the gunships, but they'll take time. But the gunships aren't being focused very well. They could take out this P-Gen or this P-Gen, which would be great, and Sovereign hasn't done that. Could it be that... Yes, that's because he's focusing these torrents onto this naval HQ, but this naval HQ has a lot of support. It's on the way to T3. If they can kill it before it gets to T3, that will be a huge mass waste for Papa. Over here, here's the anti-air support for the Harbies. It's these two cruisers, and he's forcing investment into TMD, and the TMD will not defend against these Harbies, of which there are now 11. That could take that. I think Company's old base could be just crushed by Papa's forces. Meanwhile, 1,000 hit points left, and it's desperately being assisted. My dude, you need to focus this. You can take this out and cause an immense waste. All he has to do is focus this T3 Naval HQ. The repair from the assist is helping out, and it's going to get a big heap more of hit points as soon as T3 completes. 96%. I think it's going up, but now he's focusing here. He's producing T2 engines, no doubt, for TMD here. How far do those actually range? They can't range the main base unless they get through the middle, which we've theorized might be impossible. And it's T3 and it's got 14,000 hit points on it now. This one goes down. There's the line of TMD being killed. Meanwhile, we have some classic play from Colorado. Naughty Naughty, Walkie Walkie. Those two Salems are being the answer to the range that they didn't have before, and this is now being denied. Equals are reasonably level, because this has only yet been rebuilt to T1. These are still denied, but now these are denied for Code Team. This big navy, however, isn't being used, and if, as theorized, we can't get through the middle, he needs to stop building navy here now, because what's he going to do with it? Cruisers, maybe. Cruisers to deny mixes around here and bombard this way, and it looks like he can actually range the naval HQ here, so that will be amazing. Park a bunch of cruisers here, take out the naval HQ, and now the naval HQ, the T3 naval HQ is now being focused. Not enough. TMD has gone up. Boom, it's down. There's no T3 Navy here now for Papa. That could hurt, but he has got T3 Navy down here, and he's building several battleships. Not only do several battleships have decent range, but several battleships have nuke launchers. And if he can make use of that, that could be amazing. And these TMDs are now blocking a lot of the torrent fire, but this is a lot of torrents, and I don't know if this is going to be enough. He could just focus down the TMDs. I think he's just going to lose this. I think this is where he needs to put up TMDs, and indeed, he's queuing a lot. Wise move. Up here, the Salems are just walking in, smashing the eco. Nothing Papa's got here to stop them. And I think Papa's just going to lose everything north of the choke point. Down here, the Harbies are still amassing, and Sovereign knows about them. He's just scouted them. But is he going to actually do anything about them? Has he registered that they're there? Because I don't think he's got... When the scouts aren't there, he can't see them. So if he wasn't looking, he wouldn't have seen them. And this is now quite a big army for Papa. Sovereign is still adding torrents. This is an immense number of torrents, but what can they do? What can they actually range? All of this is going to die to the Salems anyway. Killing the Navy might be a good call. They could probably just sit here, but now the Harbies are advancing. The Harbies are advancing into this base, and they are going to crush. Down goes the T3 power. Down goes the T3 air HQ. These two whalers will be able to do some work. Is there any anti-air support? No, there isn't. There's a couple of ASFs, but they're not coming in. These Harbies need to either fall back under the range of the cruisers, or they need to push to do damage, and Papa is doing neither. He's just wasting these Harbies. This, however... Oh no, this is nice. He's sending two Harbies to clear up this expansion and deny it, while the rest of them head on north. That's good, and one whaler has been sent to take care of them, but Harbies, with their shields, they're still to work through. And we have got these ASFs coming in now. These are there's a couple of ASFs in there, but these are mainly inties. That whaler's down. This whaler falls back. These are just going to go to town for free on this expansion. That's great play from Papa. And he's going to tear this apart. Up here, though, the Harbies are pushing, and they are slowly being worked up, but there's only one whaler, and with the T3 Air HQ was lost. There is T3 Air now from Colorado, and he's producing whalers, but that's going to take a bit of time to get going, because he's still got to get his T3 power up, which he hasn't yet. He's heavily assisting it, but he hasn't got it yet. And look at these Harbies denying these mexes. And a lot of those, I mean, look at the wrecks here. A lot of those were T2. So, good work. More T2 mexes that could possibly be taken out, and T1 spam, that's just going to die pretty quickly to Harbies. And here are the whalers from Colorado joining the whalers from Sovereign. But I don't think it's going to be in time to save these mexes, and Papa still has quite a big eco lead. It's not as big as it was. It's about, what's that, 70-ish? But 70 out of 160, that's still 50% lead. That's pretty good for Papa. But what can he do with it? Well, this is something he can do with it. This Serra battleship is loading its nuke, and I'm pretty sure that we don't see any nuke defense in either of these bases. I don't think they suspect it. This is what Colorado's doing in place of having an air HQ, though. He's got carriers out, and they are building... They are building ASFs. Good choice. So this is where all his ASF production is. Nothing else game endery going on there. These factories have been left by the Salems, and the Salems are now heading south. This might be a problem for Papa, as I don't know if he's got anything really to counter them. If he saved up a few Harbies over here and pushed them in, that might work, but he's still dropping all of his Harbies over here. He has now got production over here, and he is teching up that factory by the looks of things. So he'll be able to build a T2 anti-air to support his Harbies. That'll be good. And this whaler, I don't think it'll be able to stop it, because this is close enough to the cruisers. The torrents are still firing, but at what? There's nothing left in their fire arc. There is a battleship out from Colorado who's gone straight to T3 Navy on his rebuild, and we have a Tsar under construction. Now, I would say that that seems unwise when I'm pretty sure that Papa's got air, but I'm not sure that Papa's got air because of all these carriers. Anyway, the next wave of Harbies is making its push. Is it going to get much done? It still doesn't have anti-air support though. Sovereign hiding in this pond. Odd choice of a hiding place, but it's where he's chosen. And these whalers from Colorado are just picking apart the Harbies. And we can see on the minimap that the ASF response from Papa isn't there. He's got one Swifty floating around, but whalers have enough anti-air that I think they'll kill the Swifty before it stops them and more whalers are massing. These Harbies could just be a mass dump for Papa to Colorado. And they fall back. But now, he's going straight for T3 here. I don't like that. I would like to see a few T2 anti-airs being popped out before he goes for that. But now he's brought in the ASFs, and they easily kill the whalers, but most of the Harbies are dead. These Harbies could use their reclaim function to eat those whalers. I would like to see that. And is he doing that? No, he's not, but he could. I think he should. We now have 2 battleships building nukes, but they have to keep dodging or the torrents will hit them, and that will be a big loss, like a half-built nuke on a battleship just being taken out by a torrent. Like this, look at this, he's just taking hits and he has to move them. These cruisers will help because the cruisers provide tactical missile defense, but like, I would actually not be unhappy to see a line of tactical missile defense going up across like here, and for the Navy to mass behind it. That would work. It would have to be a lot, but tactical missile defense at this stage is relatively cheap, certainly compared to a battleship with a nuke, or indeed 2 battleships with a nuke. How are those Salems doing? Well, they're advancing here, and the Harvey production is still all being shipped over here. Please, Papa, leave some like here. And there's only one NG assisting this, so he's not going to have any T3 air, but he's pushing in again. That must be the Tsar finish. Yes, we can see it up there on the minimap. Again, the Harbies push in, this time with a little bit of Aurora spam supporting. They need to actually push to do some damage though. If they just sit there, they're going to be killed. Are you going to move anything, Papa? Please move them. Please move them. Well, it's going to kill a T2 mech, but this is a big investment for one T2 mech. And they're falling back. They must have seen the Tsar coming. How much Harby is this Tsar going to kill for free? Okay, the answer appears to be none. I was expecting to see all of this torn apart, but the Tsar has turned back. Meanwhile, those Salems have stopped. They could advance a little bit and do massive damage, like take out this air factory, maybe even take out the HQ, take out some power. These Salems just need to advance. What's Colorado doing? But the Tsar we have to worry about. Actually, let's have a quick check. Does Papa know about the Tsar? He doesn't know that it is a Tsar. And this battleship is just sitting here under torrent fire. It's not one of the nuke battleships, but it needs to move again. And that battleship is half loaded. That battleship is only a tiny bit loaded. This is quite good though. A cheeky little build of T1 spam. I don't think that's the right answer here. I think there should just be T1 spam going the other way, which could then support the Salems. But finally, we've got some Harbies coming out to take down the Salems. And Salems can't fire backwards. So by swarming quickly around the Salems and forcing the Salems to try and turn and get line of fire on the Harbies, they quickly go down. The Tsar is now... Ooh, the ASFs are launched from the carriers to provide air support. Is the Tsar going to make an attack? It is. I think it's going to go in. Is there much to stop it in here? There's a SAM, but a SAM is not enough to stop a Tsar. There's a few flaks here. A few flaks aren't enough to stop a Tsar. Papa's trying to build a GC, but that's not going to help. He's building SMD2, nice choice, but this Tsar is the problem, and how can he stop it? The Tsar's shield goes down. It hasn't targeted the Sam yet, and which I think will be a better choice than the flak. He's going straight for the power, and the Tsar is losing health fast, but this is immense amounts of damage to the Tsar. It denies the GC, but look at this is utterly brutal. And the nuke goes off from this battleship. Where's it going? I think it's going for Colorado, but we'll see in a moment where that's going, because we have to follow the Tsar. As is it going to take out these pigeons? That would be huge. The Tsar goes down. It's going to land on the pigeons and crush them. Boom, nice. We'll check on that in a minute, but here is the nuke, and I think that Colorado is about to be in a little bit of trouble. Boom! Colorado's base is levered, and that's amazing. Yeah, look, these torrents, they just can't get through here. So that is a problem. However, you know what else is a problem? Where's the power? Papa is massively power stored. He is 11,000 power stored when he's only building 5,000. Now, the thing he really needs to do to fix this is take this battleship, and turn off their nuke production. That's 8,500 power. He would immediately save. That might save it for him if he doesn't move it. Because although the Sarah battleship does have tiny bits of TMD, it's not enough to stop a bunch of torrents, and it's just. But he needs to pause those battleships, because if he doesn't, he's never going to get his power back. And here he is, desperately rebuilding power, but he just can't afford it. He's so short of power. Please, Papa. Oops, why did I go there? Please, Papa, pause your battleships so that you can afford to rebuild power. Because without that, you won't be able to afford another nuke. And I think that's your only hope. His T1 spam here is actually getting a little bit of work done, but what does that matter when he's so power stored that he can only produce 81 mass despite his heaps and heaps of mexes? Because he's actually got a decent number of T3 mexes in here despite the Tsar attack. And we do have another Tsar mostly done into the green up here for Sovereign. This power gen is finally into the green, but what good is one power gen going to do him? He still hasn't paused the battleships. Look at this. This is a terrible waste of power and mass. If Papa loses Mr. Battleship, who never finished a nuke, it's all your fault. Do something, please, says Sovereign. You have twice my mass, says Colorado. He's not lying. Colorado losing his entire base to that nuke is pretty brutal, and Sovereign inherited this base and then lost it to a bunch of Harbies. This force could push in and do some damage. I mean, Sovereign's comm is just exposed here. He's got a shield, but I think that this force might be able to take out Sovereign if it just pushed. But he's got no radar. He's got no power, so Papa can't afford it. He's queuing up a lot more P-gens. Are those nuke launchers that he's queued? What's got them queued? No, they're anti-nukes. What am I talking about? But the second Tsar is coming in, and if he had trouble stopping the first one, he's going to have even more trouble stopping the second one. I think this could be the death knell for Papa. This time Sovereign's going to focus. Well, we got some ASF coming in, but they barely even take down the Tsar's shield, and all of these ASF from Sovereign, plus the Tsar's own mighty anti-air. I don't think that Tsar's even leaving the green. Okay, as I say it does. Curse of the commentator. Get the nuke, says Colorado, but Colorado doesn't know that the nuke is over here on the battleship. there is still this other anti-air here, and the Tsar has taken a bit of damage, but Papa's comm is right here, and I don't think he's going to be able to stop it if Sovereign just goes for the snipe. The Tsar is taking out mass, but he doesn't need to take out mass. He needs to kill power, and he needs to kill the comm. And frankly, I don't think there's anything that's going to stop it. In comes the Tsar, and it's close enough to the comm, who does have the shield, but who doesn't have the power to run it. GG, says Papa, and he's not wrong. The Tsar takes out the power, the shield goes down, and Papa dies in nuclear fire to a Tsar. Hot team win the game, and what a game. That naval choke point not being able to allow ships through, that really made a mess of things, didn't it? Could Papa have won if he'd applied more pressure with his Harbies after dropping them all in to Company's old base? Tell me in the comments below. While you're down there, don't forget to like, subscribe, and obey. I'm the Commissar. I will see you next time.